Welcome to Science Department News at 6. On the show tonight we'll be discussing rat incidences in Shelton, Hanley Park and the Staffordshire University campus.
Joining us tonight we'll have rat specialist Malcolm Roden and Environmental Protection Manager Jemima Vermin.
We've all heard the expression that you are never more than 6 feet away from a rat. In Stoke-on-Trent at least this may be true, as the city is now in the top 10 for reported rat infestations in England.
This alarming figure has caught the attention of a local scientist who is currently undertaking a research project to investigate the actual occurrence of rats in Stoke. We're now moving to a live interview with Malcolm Roden, who is a member of the RECWM. He is currently undertaking a research project on rat infestations in Stoke-on-Trent. Good evening, Malcolm.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be here. I'm very passionate about rats. I'm hoping dearly that I can complete this project, then we can deal with the infestations in a more humane and more effective way to prevent further problems. I work for the RECWM, that's the Rat Enthusiast Club of the West Midlands, so I'm relatively knowledgeable on the subject of rats. I'm choosing to do my project in Stoke because in 2011 Stoke was ranked 27th for reported rat infestations and has now jumped to 9th highest for reported rat infestations, which shows there isn't something right.
Right, can you give us a little bit of background on the subject of rats, please?
In towns, rats will often make their homes in sewers underground and come out to find food. They breed fairly readily as well. Throughout the year, a female rat can have 12 litters of around 6 young. Rats can cause problems when they choose to nest in refuse tips, paper, straw or housing insulation. Their gnawing behaviour, which they use to shorten their teeth, can damage woodwork pipes and electrical cables.
They're definitely a problem then. Can you explain how you designed your project that is based on a subject such as rat infestations?
Yes, well the first thing I did was identify the stakeholders who can benefit from the control of rat incidents in Shelton and Hanley Park. These people include local people, local residents, people from the council, bin men, pest controls and businesses, in particular food businesses such as takeaways which attract rats. I then looked a bit more at setting out the project, the aim of which is to investigate the incidence of rat occurrence in the Shelton and Hanley Park area of Stoke-on-Trent and consider potential solutions to the problem. I also considered, in a practical situation, the limitations of this project, which are the fact that it only covers a very small area of Shelton and Hanley Park, rather than the whole of Stoke, so it might only solve the problem in one area, whilst the rest of Stoke still struggles with rat infestations. As it is an investigative project, the main work involved would be tracing through records and news stories that document pest control and the incidence of rat occurrence in Shelton and Hanley Park area of Stoke-on-Trent.
Sounds interesting, Mr. Roden. Why are you doing this? What is the point of looking at rats in this situation?
Rats can have a lot of very detrimental impacts on the environment and people. They are quite unsightly to see and deter new businesses and investment in the area. They can chew through building materials, damaging infrastructure, and be a problem to chickens by eating their eggs and animal feed. Rats are relatively dirty animals living in dirty places also. They can transmit food poisoning and carry diseases such as Weil's disease, murine typhus, and rat bite fever, and trichinosis. All in all, it really is a serious issue, and Stoke-on-Trent is an area where the problem is getting significantly worse, and I'm here to find out why.
We now have a report from Malcolm Roden's field expert David Rattenborough, who will shed some more light on the study area for Malcolm's project.
Hello, and welcome to David Rattenborough in the field. Today, I will be guiding you through the undergrowth of Shelton, Hanley Park and the Staffordshire University campus. Here, I hope to show you the reasons behind such high rat infestations in Stoke-on-Trent. Let's go! Most houses in Shelton have back alleys like these ones. These alleyways are often dumping grounds of rubbish and can lead to further domestic rat infestations in Stoke-on-Trent. Now, student lifestyles can often act as catalysts for rat infestations. For example, the fast food restaurant behind me can often lead to late night treats for rats, and bin days, or putting the bins out in general for students, can often be a challenge of great significance, which can often lead to a build-up of rubbish in the alleyways behind the houses, further increasing rat infestations. Here we are in just one of the many woodland areas in Hanley Park. This is one of the areas you would most likely find a rat, especially at night time. Now, if we come down to this bush, bushes provide perfect protection from the cold environments in urban areas for rats and their prey. The increased biodiversity, and therefore biomass, make for a much broader food chain for rats to feed on. Humans would probably agree with me in saying that they would prefer rats to come and live in areas like this to deter them from the other urban areas of Shelton, because they're so well known as pests there. Moving back down towards the lake now, we find ourselves another population of these little rodents, water rats. The European water rat is a semi-aquatic animal which has its whole body covered in hair. They normally eat from the grasses close by to the lake, and they nest in the banks of the rivers. Now, we've already seen the effects that rat infestations have had in Shelton, and one would fear that that may be happening on the campus. However, the university do have an in-house grounds team which maintain the quality of the campus and clear up any excess rubbish littering the campus. This area, like Hanley Park, is an area of less concern for rat infestations. Now, the university campus also has this place up its sleeve, the Nature Reserve. The large woodland area here provides good shelter for rats, as well as the lake for the European water rodents which we spoke about in Hanley Park. This area, combined with the on-site grounds team at the university campus, significantly reduce any potential rat infestation problems we might have and provide a natural ecosystem for them in which to live. This is David Rattenborough saying goodbye.
Also joining us today we have Jemima Vermin, who disagrees that there is a particular rat problem in Stoke-on-Trent and feels the situation is well handled by the council. Welcome to the show. Would you like to give us a brief introduction as to what your department is involved in?
Pest control comes under the banner of public protection and environmental health. Local authorities are not required to operate pest control services. It's up to each individual council what they do. In Stoke, we treat rats for free. Most people think it's the council's responsibility, but there is an emphasis on other people as well. If someone rings up and makes an appointment, we will go out, visit free of charge, and then set up any other visits that need. Where local authorities charge, people might be more reluctant to pick up the phone, so there is maybe a lot of underreporting. Recently, the British Pest Control Association has ranked us third worst or something for rats, but if you flip it, it's good that we're a well-used service. I think the differences between areas are how they actually respond to the problems. We work very closely with colleagues in environmental services. It's about controlling the population. In Hanley and Stoke as a whole, there's a lot of developments such as paving streets and the new bus station. This means in recent times a lot of the rats have come from underground to the surface. It is currently being controlled and managed, but there are only 4 technicians working over the city for the busy service, and there is only so much we can do.
So apart from the construction work, what would you say was the main cause of rat instances in Stoke?
Anything really. The sewers play a big part. They use like motorways to get to one place to another. We work very closely with Severn Trent and we do a sewer abating programme in conjunction with them.
How would you say the rat population services to deal with infestation differ to surrounding areas?
I would say we're no different to any other areas of a similar size and nature in terms of our rat population. The difference is that we offer a free rat extermination service. For example, neighbouring areas such as Stafford require a nominal fee.
So would you say offering a free service has led to higher call-out figures?
Yes, although the numbers have been coming down in the last year or so, we offer a good service which is well used. So compared to other areas, we may have the problem more under control.
So would you say there are any limitations to your service?
Sometimes we can be a bit understaffed, in summer especially, as it is a very seasonal. It can be hard to prioritise certain jobs. Of course, there are always other improvements we could make to the service. One solution I think needs looking at is to adapt a more proactive solution to the problem.
So how do you think a proactive solution would be more beneficial?
I think we could look back at traditional methods to try and find a new solution to the problem. We go to a conference every year where we discuss methods of dealing with rat infestation, and these are incredibly valuable, but I still think there is a solution just around the corner. A proactive solution would involve mileage in putting time into looking at where the problems are coming from and trying to prevent the problem before we get to the later stages.
So what proactive measures would you suggest?
Well, I think we need to look at where clusters of service requests are coming from and invest time in trying to do something in these areas. I personally believe we need more staff and sewer baying should be carried out all year round.
What do you feel is the media's responsibility in all of this?
The media have definitely made the problem more pronounced within the public. People now think every rustle in the bush is another rat and will immediately call us. Just the other week we had people from the press ringing to see if we'd had any reports of super rats after sightings had been claimed further down south. As soon as the public get wind of a story like this, you can guarantee we'll get a complaint about something similar.
So would you say the public overreact to the problem?
I wouldn't go that far, but people certainly exaggerate when telling us about their infestations. There has been a heightened excitement about rats in recent years. We have an emergency call-out system and people will purposely make their situation sound worse in hopes that they will get a faster response.
What could the public do to help solve the problem then?
Well, obviously, first off, we need them to be more honest about any sightings they have. Also, a point which isn't often mentioned is the feeding of wild animals. People forget when they leave food out for hedgehogs or birds, it will also attract the rats. Obviously, people also need to be careful with their rubbish, and any overgrown gardens should be managed.
So in your opinion, would you say there is a rat problem in Stoke-on-Trent?
Not any more than any other region. I think the main problem is how people perceive rats. They are more likely to live with bugs or mice than rats, even though mice can carry the same diseases as rats. I think as a whole we are successful in dealing with any infestations or sightings. Our only limitations are the lack in funding we receive, which obviously means less people on the team.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you from all our guests on today's show. It is clear from a statistical point of view that rat incidences are above average in the area. With the abundance of natural ecosystems, the young demographic and aged infrastructure, there is a basis for this figure. However, the free rat call-out scheme is certainly a potential cause. If Malcolm's project was to be extended, the addition of primary data on the actual rat population of the area would allow a conclusion to be made on the significance of the free call-out scheme.
That's all we have time for tonight.
Stay classy, San Diego.
And thanks for stopping by.